sweet, sweet sounds of Kenny Loggins and the Caddyshack theme. Listen closely. Oh, there's a backup singer in there, too. Name the backup singer. You're right. Eddie Money. There's your trivia for the day. Well, good morning. Brock Greenhalgh with you this week as Mike Farwell is on vacation. He will be back in the studio on Monday. Happy Friday, Junior. An exciting agenda is on the way today. Bick's pickles are vanishing from some store shelves. We will delve into why today. We'll chat with Ward 3 Councillor Jason Deneau about a new affordable housing project in Kitchener. Waterloo Regional Police still need your help in collecting backpacks for back to school. We will talk forest fires with a professor from UW's Fire Research Lab. 11:30 this morning, we are going to flip the script with the Flipside. We want to hear from you about a time you brought home the title. Championship medal, ribbon, trophy, certificate, not a participation ribbon, the title. Get ready to boast about your accomplishments. In the meantime, time for the Farwell Show 5. 5 stories to start your day off on the right foot and in no particular order. Flair Airlines' new CEO, Maciej Wilk, says the company is committed to staying put at the region of Waterloo International Airport. The company had recently scrapped its international flights from the region, but is maintaining its list of domestic flights. Wilk says if the numbers warrant it in the years ahead, international flights could be considered again. It is 3 games in 4 days for your Kitchener Panthers. They are on the road in Welland tonight. Saturday, they head to Guelph to take on the Royals. And then a final home game before the playoffs start this Sunday at Jack Couch Park. Game time is 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Check out their Instagram account for your chance to win tickets to Sunday's game. Researchers at University of Waterloo tackling kidney stones with the help of little tiny worm-like robots. Once those robots get in and come in contact with the kidney stones, after a few days, they start to dissolve. If you're looking for a little nostalgia in your life, grab your lawn chair, your blanket. You can head down to Waterloo Park tonight near the bandshell. The original Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call? From 1984 is going to be on the big screen outside tonight. The Perseid meteor shower, I think, is still going on, too. So that would be kind of a cool background. That's for the most recent installment of Movies in the Park tonight, Waterloo Park. You can also help out the food bank of Waterloo Region by bringing along a non-perishable food item to donate. Maybe bring along 2. And I know you've been waiting with bated breath. The Happy Gilmores, 570 News Radio's Fearsome Foursome, didn't come away empty-handed last night. While top teams might have posted scores of 1 over par, our foursome, we were just 3 shots off the pace, not bad at all, but we did manage to grab a free round of golf for each of us to be used at a later date. All 4 members of the team came through in the clutch out on the links, thanks to the folks at the Center for Family Business and all the competitors who came out for a great night of golf and grub. There is your Farwell Show 5 for Thursday, August the 14th, 2025. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. Toll free, 1-800-570-5715. Ron, did you make it? How did everything go? How did everything go in the game last night?
Well, they lost, but I ended up getting both bubblehead. I had to fight for one of them.
Come on now, like a fisticuff, like you dropped them and went at it.
No. I had to go fight on Marketplace. Find somebody that was willing to sell.
There you go.
And I did post them on my Instagram if you want to have a look at them. They're at Canadian Maker Project. Canadian _Maker _Project. which is where I post all my pictures and whatever from games or whatever I've seen.
Right on. I'll check that out for sure. And you're a bobblehead collector. You try and get to all of the bobblehead days.
Yeah, I got one more, and I'm going to skip the peanut one after I've seen it because I was just like, I don't want a Charlie Brown bobblehead. Thank you very much.
I think I've got like 3 Brett Laurie bobbleheads somewhere in the house. We went down there years ago, and the kids all got one, and my wife got one as well too. I'll have to dig through things to find what I can look for. Yeah, not a great game, and it started off okay. Like it was a bit of a pitcher's duel at the beginning of the game, but when we only get 1 or 2 hits, we can't. That's not the way to win a ball game.
Yeah, no, the other team was just on fire. Like I forget the pitcher's name right now, but he was just on fire. He seemed to be like locked in.
Oh yeah, nobody can touch that guy. He's and looking down the line, chances are that they're going to be one of the teams to beat going into the playoffs. Thanks for the phone call, Ron. I appreciate it. You can give us a call as well, too. 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell, toll free, 1-800-570-5715. We are going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Brock Greenhalgh with you this week, filling in for Mike Farwell. He will be back on Monday. For 95% of the day, I think I'm a fairly positive individual. I've been called nice. But every now and then, Devin Robertson, someone just pushes my buttons and little things start to happen. I have been told that I'm starting to become that grumpy old man, and I'm okay with that. It's interesting to hear myself say the same things my dad used to say. And this is the way that it goes. I'm going to go back to talking with Ron about the baseball game. We were at the game 2 nights ago. And this is great seats. We were along the third base line, right in foul ball territory. The second swing of the bat, right at the beginning of the game, Chicago Cubs up to the plate, left-handed batter. So you got to be paying attention because it's going to come your way if it's a foul ball. The foul ball lands 2 rows in front of us. And there's 2, I'm guessing they're either brothers or cousins. Both had their gloves on, 10 years old, fighting for the ball. One pops up, they've got it. Okay, no argument, no big deal. And that's what it's all about. If you catch a foul ball and you're an adult, look around and see if there's any little ones around you that might, it might mean a little bit more to them. Unless it's like, Vladdy's 1,000th home run or something. I get that. But otherwise, have a heart. The thing that was driving me crazy, though, at the game, and I'm just like, come on, like you're in the middle of something. Maybe it was because it was Looney Dog night, but the number of people in our section and other sections as well, too, who were getting up out of their seats and walking past me. Now, I was right on the edge, so it was blocking my view, or coming back to their seats in the middle of an at-bat. Not in between, one guy strikes out and walking down. I get that. That's fine. But it's 3-2. There's 2 outs, and there's people walking back and forth. Just stay at the top and watch the rest of that out, that person's, chance at bat. What are you doing? Or you're on your phone. That's the other thing. If you watch the game from home, and you see the people sitting in those great seats right behind home plate, count the number of people with their heads down. They're not napping. They're not praying. They're on their phones. Someone paid a lot of money for those tickets, and you can't be bothered to watch the game? Give me a break. Or take selfies of yourself. Now, I know we did take a selfie, but it wasn't in the middle of someone's at bat. We were paying attention. I'm always yelling, Heads up, heads up, heads up when the balls are coming near us. And some people are like, what? Huh? Yeah, it's a live game going on, folks. You can't pause it. You can get up and go get yourself something, but just wait because you're interrupting everyone else's view of the game. Have I overstepped my bounds here, Devin? What are you thinking? Am I complaining too much right now?
No, that all sounds in line.
Okay,
I can agree with all that.
You're my measuring stick. You're you know how things are going. I appreciate that feedback. Give us a call 519-570-2545 star 570 on your cell. Toll free 1-800-570-5715. Something. If you got a bee in your bonnet, you got something bugging you. We can wait until Talkback at noon, or you can just let her rip right now. I'm in that mood. Grumpy old man shakes fist at clouds. Not really, but that was just I had to get that off my chest. Thanks for listening. I feel better. I feel lighter. That's just the way that it goes. George, have you got some advice for me? Have you got something on your mind? What's happening today, George?
Yeah, I sure do, Brock. I've got some advice. How often do you go to a Kitchener Rangers game?
I get to a Rangers game not as often as I like to. I'm going to say 4 or 5 times a year if I'm lucky.
Okay, good. That's good because what I was going to say is they do it right. They hold the people. The game is on. Nobody's moving back and forth to their seats.
Yeah.
They do it right. And I wish the Blue Jays would do the same thing.
I went up at one point, and there was a woman at the top, and she was doing her best, George. She was trying to stem the tide, but people just kept going. And I said to her, "Thank you so much for trying to at least control it." And I maybe there's a lot of people maybe they've never been to a baseball game before. I get that, but if a dad's there and his little guy's trying to squeeze through and get down, Dad just hang on to him because the other thing, and the lady was saying to people, you might get hit with a foul ball right now because you're not paying attention. You're walking down the stairs, but it was like she couldn't stem the tide.
Yeah, good point. Yep.
But I hear you, and you're right, and I appreciate what they do. Thanks for that, George. They do that. They do it upright at the Rangers games. It's like, just hold on a second. You can watch the game. Just give everybody a second. This is a live event. You don't, unless you really have to get out of your seat. You don't do that in the middle of production over in Stratford, right? They can see you. They can hear you now. Can Vladdy hear me when I'm yelling at him? Probably not. But everybody else around you can. A little bit of common decency. I like that. Thanks for the backup, George. I appreciate it. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. Toll free, 1-800-570-5715. We are going to take a quick break, but we will be back. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Welcome back to the show. Brock Greenhalgh for Mike Farwell this week. Just ranting about behavior at a sporting event leads me to rant number 2. Something to think about. I'll pose a question to you first of all. It's a rhetorical. As a member of a crowd at an event, professional sporting event, we're not talking about at your kid's baseball game or, t-ball or something like that, but you go and you watch a professional event, baseball, basketball, football, whatever it happens to be. You've bought a ticket. You're up close and personal with the players on the field. Does that give you the right to yell things at the players on the field? Jokingly, mockingly, words of support, all of those things, because and I'm getting to a point here in a second, a couple of points I want to make. First of all, I might have done that the other night when Dansby Swanson bobbled the ball twice, and I suggested that loudly maybe he had some popcorn before the game. People say, well, they're paid millions of dollars, right? Paid to do that sort of thing. But here's the thing. Have you been paying attention to what is going on in the WNBA right now? People are purposely throwing items onto the court to demean the players, to embarrass the players. And it is, in my opinion, it's disgusting. So I've got a few questions for those people who throw the items onto the court. First of all, what's wrong with you? Second of all, is mom proud when she sees you do that? Would your daughter be proud of you doing that? Would your sister, your grandma? Give your head a shake. That is, and there's websites now, and you can go on, and it's, you can bet on whether or not someone's going to throw something. That sort of stuff, I'm like, I just don't get it at all. Anyway, Lorraine, what's on your mind today, Lorrain?
Hi, I'm just thinking about lawn care.
Oh, lawn care. I'm always thinking about that too.
Well, I think in this heat, you should not cut your lawn so short.
Yes.
And not so often, so it shades itself. And nobody seems to do that around here. The other thing is watering. One long, deep watering is really good for your lawn in that the roots grow deep, and learn how to do that when in drought. And all these little dibs and dabs for 5 minutes the other day is ridiculous.
Yeah, we need the whole thing.
And we will be getting eventually not able to water our lawns because we'll need the water for drinking.
Exactly.
And we should be careful.
All right. Thanks, Lorraine, for that reminder. Yeah, you put an empty can of tuna out and you put your sprinkler on. When it's filled, when it's sprinkling back and forth, then you can. It's time for you to turn the sprinkler off, and your lawn has had enough. Gary, I see you there. I do have to jump to the news. If you can call back after our next guest, we're going to have a guest at 9:30. But give me a call back, Gary, and we'll continue that conversation. Just something to think about. All right. And thanks to Lorraine for bringing that up as well, too. We will take a quick break. We'll get an update from the News Center, but don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Brock Greenhalgh in for the vacationing Mike Farwell. Never fear, he will be back in studio Monday morning. Are you a pickle enthusiast? Have you noticed a few less choices, let's put it that way, on the shelves recently at the grocery store? Do you do it the old-fashioned way, and do you do your own pickling and canning? I'm married into a family where I am well taken care of when it comes to those kinds of things. But if you require certain types of pickles like Bicks, you might be running into some difficulties right now. Michael von Massow is a professor of food, agriculture, and resource economics at the University of Guelph, and he joins us this morning to have a conversation. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Brock. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. So let me see if I've got this right, and you can clarify for me. Bick's pickles are made with Canadian cucumbers. They come equipped with a Canadian-made lid, but since they're packaged south of the border, they are now subject to a 25% tariff on cucumbers and gherkins. I'm guessing margins are fairly low in the food business.
Well, yes. So anything that is coming, any pickles that are coming across the border from the U.S. now are subject to a tariff. Notwithstanding, as you said, that the cucumbers are coming from Ontario and the lids are coming from Ontario. Bick's pickles are more expensive because of that tariff.
I know you've mentioned this, the idea that, we rally behind the idea of buy Canadian, and we're all there. But that sentiment, sometimes it's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it?
Well, we often hear about cars and car parts going both ways, so it's really hard to say what's Canadian. The same thing happens in the food industry, and Bick's pickles are a perfect example. We've got product moving both ways across the border, and the government worked really hard to try and find products to do retaliatory tariffs on that minimized the impact on Canadian consumers. But I think in this case, they neglected the fact that Canadian cucumbers were going in to those Bick's pickles. So we're essentially hurting Canadian producers by tariffing the U.S. product.
Are there other examples in the food industry specifically where the same thing is happening?
There are other things in the food industry where products are moving back and forth.
Right.
But there are not a lot of products where they are tariffed on the way back. One example, though, would be sugar.
Okay. We
have producers in southwestern Ontario producing sugar beets that are processed in the U.S. And so that sugar coming back would be subject to tariff as well.
So if we've got some pickle lovers out there, right, and they've got to be Bick's pickles, any sort of, they're feeling left out. Any sort of advice for them? Maybe they're not wanting to to change brands. Are they just gonna have to wait, or what do you think is going to be happening next?
Well, the two things are happening. The first is that Bick's pickles are getting more expensive. So in some stores, you can still get Bick's pickles. They're just more expensive because of the tariff. We've seen demand go down, so some stores have pulled Bick's pickles off the shelves entirely just because they're not selling enough. So if you're stuck on Bick's pickles, then find a store that sells them, and if you're not, try a Canadian-made pickle until we resolve, if and when we resolve this trade dispute with the U.S.
Did you ever think we would spend so much time talking about pickles?
Yeah, until 2 weeks ago, I hadn't given a lot of thought to pickles, to be honest. So, but we live in interesting times.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for giving us some of your time and your perspective on this as well, too. We really appreciate it. We're going to keep the conversation going on this end.
Okay, well, thanks, and have a great day.
Right, you too. Thanks so much. That was Michael von Massow. He's a professor of food economics at the University of Guelph, talking about not just pickles, but he also brought up the idea of sugar, where the sugar beets are produced here in southern Ontario. They're shipped across the border. They are produced into sugar, brought back up this way, and hit with those tariffs, which means that we see higher prices. We see the same thing with the Bick's pickles as well too. You can still get them, Michael was saying. I think there's been about a 25% drop off, but you can still get them. You're just going to be paying more for them. So if you can't get by a day without your Bick's pickles, and I know we're making a bit of a joke out of this, but it's one of those things where you think, are tariffs impacting me? Oh, maybe not. Well, take another look at it. Prices are going to be changing and going to be going up. If you trace it back through the supply chain, you start to figure out why that is. He mentioned that idea about cars. Is there such a thing as a Canadian-made car? Well, there may be Canadian-made parts. There may be Mexican or Chinese parts that are included. They may be all pulled together and put together in a plant down in Windsor or in Mississauga or Oakville. But where are those parts coming from and getting dinged? Right? And as he said 2 weeks ago, he had never really given too much thought about pickles, but here we are talking about them. And that if what ends up happening is Bick's is going to look at this and say, well, we're having that 25%'s got to come from somewhere. Either we decrease the price that we're willing to pay to the farmers that are sending us the cucumbers, or we've got to find it somewhere else around. Is there a chance that cucumber and gherkin tariff would be lifted? We'll have to wait and see. Right? I know there's things that I have gone to the grocery store for recently, and I'm thinking there's got to be. I like the fact that a lot of the labels are labeled as Canadian. There's a Canada sticker there, trying to make the most of those purchases. And you take a step back and you think, and what I'm doing, is it making an impact? It may make a small impact, but if everyone is doing it and we're conscious of those decisions that we're making, it's not always easy. I get that. But those are the things that we need to do. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio.
The government worked really hard to try and find products to do retaliatory tariffs on that minimized the impact on Canadian consumers. But I think in this case, they neglected the fact that Canadian cucumbers were going into those Bick's pickles. So we're essentially hurting Canadian producers by tariffing the U.S. product.
That was Professor of Food Economics Michael von Massow from the University of Guelph. We used the example of Bick's pickles to bring up the idea of how tariffs are impacting some of our food choices. So specifically, when it comes to Bick's pickles, the cucumbers are grown here in Ontario. They are shipped across the border. They are prepared and turned into pickles, placed into jars. The lid that goes on top of them is an Ontario-made lid. And then they come back over the border, and there is the 25% tariff is got to be absorbed somewhere. And that's why you are seeing prices skyrocket. Similar things for if you've been to the grocery store lately, other items that just seem to be getting dinged, and I'm like, how is this possible? To go get a can of soup, $3.50 for a can of soup. Then they put them on sale, 3 for $8. Do you take advantage of the markets we have around here? Do you buy your own? You know, you're picking up fruits and vegetables that were grown here, and you've got to make sure that you use them up right away. Right, they're not going to be kept for long, but maybe you decide you're going to start making your own pickles. If you really like pickles, you can get yourself some cucumbers. Right, there's easy. I've just found a easy homemade pickles recipe here. 15 minutes. That's all it takes. And then 1 to 3 hour rest. That sounds good. Make some pickles, go have a nap for 3 hours. Oh, it's not me that needs to rest for 3 hours. I got you. Depending on how you slice your cucumbers, that might be something you do. Do you do your own canning, your own pickling? Are you from, I don't want to say from that era, because my sister-in-law knocks my socks off every time we get together. And we hoard the items that we receive from her. It's sort of dealt out sparingly, but she takes the time to do it. Make your own jams, all those preserves, pickles, pickled beans. If I'm going to go down this rabbit hole, pickled beans is the way to go. What say you? What do you think? What's your answer? You still got to eat. Have you changed your eating habits? Have you changed your purchasing habits? Are you a coupon clipper? How do you make sure that you're able to stay on top of everything? It's your birthday today. Is August 14th your birthday? Well, happy birthday. You're in good company. You share your birthday with Steve Martin. There you go. You also share your birthday with Magic Johnson and Halle Berry and Susan Olsen, who played Cindy on the Brady Bunch. Happy birthday. I'm glad to see Kathy calling in. Kathy, what's on your mind today?
Oh, well, you talk about the canning and the pickling and all that stuff.
Yes.
I'm a senior citizen. I grew up with my parents growing a vegetable garden.
Lovely.
And doing all canning and pickling. And as we speak now, my vegetable garden is out there, and I'm picking things all season long. I freeze, I can, I grow a household supply of the vegetables that I want.
Perfect. And thank you for doing that and sharing that, Kathy, because I think we sometimes we get away from that, don't we?
Yes, very much so. And anything that I don't have room to grow or it's not suitable to grow, I will take time to drive directly to a farm market or, better yet, a farm where they sell the produce at the farm and get it right from the farm picked that day.
Keep it local. Keep supporting.
It very local, and I have control. Unlike my grocery store is my basement in the winter.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't have to rely on shortages and things going up in price. I will tell you one thing that did happen.
Yes.
All of the seeds that I bought to plant this year, they went up in price, and the number of seeds you got in a package was cut in half.
Oh, come on.
Seriously. And then we had all the rain in the spring, and you planted seeds, and then you got heavy rain, and the rain came and washed them all away. Then you had to go back and replant them.
But it sounds to me like with how you're describing it, Kathy, it's not just food. It's a labor of love in some ways. You're bonding with the earth, right?
With this, there's a lot of work, and with the wacky weather that we have, when it gets dry, you've got to water.
Right.
And when it's wet, you hope that it dries up on time.
Well,
there's a lot of work associated with this.
Yeah.
But it's a way of life.
It's worthwhile.
Yep. Save you money at the end of the day.
I love it. Thanks so much for the call, Kathy.
Bye.
Take care. Kathy brings up a good point. I tried my hand being a little farmer this year. I planted peas and I planted squash in this little elevated garden that I'd made. I was so proud of myself. My wife kept saying, you need to make sure that you're staking those peas. I think I waited too long and I didn't water them properly. I just don't have a green thumb. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell, toll free, 1-800-570-5715. We will take a quick break, but stay with us. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Brock Greenhalgh in for the vacationing Mike Farwell. He'll be back on Monday. Quite a night last night at the Badlands. It was great to represent 570 News Radio in our beautifully designed white and red and black hockey jerseys. In my mind, we were the most stylish group on the course. We did not win that award, however. Am I bitter? Maybe a little bit. That's okay. The mint chocolates, I think, was the other costume that was there. Mint chocolate? Something like that. The activities that we had to participate in last night, other than just golfing, we could only use a 7-iron. Even to putt, which was extremely difficult. We had to, one hole, we had to chip our little rubber ducky and attempt to get it into a little wading pool. No luck there. The next one was, we had, and I can't even think of them in order. But the one you had to putt blindfolded, that was a lot of fun. I mean, that might be the way that I golf from now on because it worked better for me. You also had to chip over the top of or around an inflatable unicorn. The other one, when you got on the green, you had to swap out your golf ball for a pickleball. And yes, a pickleball does actually fit inside of a golf ball cup. So lots of fun and made some great connections. We had a lot of fun yakking with the people that were there last night. And great evening. The rain held off. It wasn't too hot. No complaints. And just a fun night. So we'll do it again next year. It was their first annual. Looking forward to it becoming an annual event. And we can make our way there again. And thanks to Greg and thanks to Craig and Scott for stepping up. And we all played our part, which was great. The big question was, do you bring your entire set of clubs out when you're only using your 7-iron? The short answer was no. Some people did use a cart to pull one club around the course. I did not do that. I was like, they used it for their water bottle too and for their golf balls. I was hoping, I had played there before. I'm like, please, I don't intend on losing any golf balls here. Started with a golf ball, finished with it. So anyone who has ever golfed with me before knows that that's not an easy thing for me to do. As a lefty, I get to see the entire course usually, from stem to stern, in the woods, in the water, in the sand, whatever's there. Last night managed to finish 9 holes. Granted, it is a shorter course, but we'll take that as a win. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. Toll free 1-800-570-5715. We are coming to the top of the hour. We will get an update from the news center, but stay with us. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio.
This is where today's topics turn into today's talking points. It's local and it's Democratic radio at its finest. This is the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio.
Just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him, but to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle.
The Mike Farwell Show continues
on 570 News Radio.
Brock Greenhalgh sitting in for Mike Farwell this week. Do you recognize that quote? That is George Bailey arguing with Mr. Potter in the classic film It's a Wonderful Life. That movie will be 80 years old next year, and yet George's sentiments about affordable housing still ring true today. Here's what he said. Just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, that they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community, well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Jason Deneau is the Ward 3 City Councilor in Kitchener, and he joins us this morning. Welcome to the show, Jason.
Good morning, Brock. How are you this morning?
So I'm quite well. Thanks for giving us some of your time today.
No problem. Thanks for asking.
So Monday, Kitchener's Planning Committee, there's a recommendation to build a 3-story, 26 micro-unit apartment building. It's comprised of 1-bedroom and studio units along Fairway Road. The project would also include parking spaces, outdoor bike spaces, dedicated basement bicycle room for 28 stalls down there as well, too, and there's a 3rd-floor amenity space. What's in your mind? What has the feedback been like that you've been dealing with?
Thanks for the question. And we've received lots of comments about this particular development. That the units are too small, that people deserve to live in not necessarily cardboard boxes. And most negative from the surrounding area. But when I took initial look at this development, I was with the same mindset that these are too small. Who wants to live in one of these? But after looking at pictures and videos of some other cities across North America, I think they're well suited for people to live in. They're the beds fold into the wall. There's a kitchen, there's a bathroom. There's some living space, and so once I got past that initial, I can't believe how small these are. I came to realize that this is just another opportunity to get people into housing and affordable housing, which we all know we so desperately need in the region.
And as you're saying, it might not be a castle, but it's mine, right? Like that idea that it's a space. And I know that it's always a contentious issue, as oftentimes, folks might support that idea of affordable housing, but not in their backyard. And that's the tough part. What do you say to those people who are concerned about affordable housing in their communities?
Well, and I understand, nobody likes change, especially if you've lived in an area for 25, 30 years. Change is hard. But affordable housing or low-income housing is not something to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
As I alluded to on Monday night, I grew up in low-income housing in East Hamilton, living on social assistance, and we're all humans, and we all deserve a roof over our head.
Yes.
Living in a small unit like that is a heck of a lot better than living a tent or living on a street or living crowded with 6 or 7 other people, which we see nowadays in a single room. And so, it's the fear of the unknown, But at the end of the day, people who are low income, people who are on social assistance, they're people too. I was a person too.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we just need that chance. They need that chance just to be, show that the community cares about them.
Absolutely. That everybody has a story, and there's a reason why they are where they are. And we need to pay attention to that, don't we?
Well, yeah, you're right. Everybody has a story. Some people were given that story. Some people developed that story themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if we can try to help people correct their story or fix their story or their situation, that's what we need to do as a caring society. Housing is a fundamental right. We know that. With housing, we'll bring dignity and respect and help people build their own self-esteem. Having their own kitchen to cook for themselves and not having to eat in a hut like we do at Better Tent City, which is fine. But again, if you ask people, would you rather live in a tent or rather live in a hut or versus living in your own space, while it's 300 square feet? I'm going to almost guarantee you 100% of the time they're going to say, I'd like to have my own space.
Right, exactly. So at this point, what are the next steps for the project?
And so it will come to council in 2 weeks, and we'll vote on it, and then it's up to the developer at that point in time to do their part on getting this up to groundbreaking,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully in a few years. And I think, this is, we're looking at all different types of housing options. And, this could be a way to put people actually into a housing situation, building equity for themselves. Because we know young people are being pushed out of the housing market. And so, helping them to build a little bit of equity at a lower price point, I think could really contribute to creating more housing for everybody, for all levels of incomes.
Jason, thanks for giving us your perspective, and thanks for your time today. We're going to keep the conversation going, but again, thanks for the work that you do as a counselor as well.
Thanks, Brock. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
That was Jason Deneau. He is the Ward 3 City Councilor in Kitchener, giving his perspective on the idea behind micro units, these 26 micro units that would be built along Fairway Road North. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell, 1-800-570-5715. We will take a quick break. Stay with us. You're listening to The Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio.
With housing, we'll bring dignity and respect and help people build their own self-esteem. Having their own kitchen to cook for themselves and not having to eat in a hut like we do at Better Tent City, which is fine. But if you ask people, would you rather live in a tent or rather live in a hut or versus living in your own space while it's 300 square feet? I'm going to almost guarantee you 100% of the time they're going to say, I'd like to have my own space.
That was Jason Deneau. He's the Ward 3 City Councilor in Kitchener, talking about a proposal for a new build along Fairway Road North. And it would be 3 stories, 26, they call them micro units. Something similar is being built in Toronto and in Chicago and in other cities as well, too. Finding ways to come up with creative ways to offer affordable housing where rent for these spaces would be less than $1,000 a month, maybe between $800 and $900 a month. And the idea would be that if you are working minimum wage and you're working full time, you would be able to afford to live there. If you are new to Canada and you're getting some help, but you're getting on your feet, you could afford to live there as well, too. But we know there's always pushback. We talk about NIMBYism, and it's nothing new. That idea of it, it's a great idea, but not in my backyard. And we know that there are reasons for that. People worry about things like the value of their home, if it's going to be in their neighborhood, the idea of groups congregating, or the idea of negative things being impacted with affordable or geared to income housing. you need to, and that's a fear, and we've talked about that as well. We can't keep pushing these things and saying, well, let's just have them live over here. Let's just put them on the fringe. Let's just, again, who are we to tell other people how they are going to live their lives? You can only control yourself. You can control your reaction to other people. I learned that from a very, very intelligent woman, my wife. Dave, what's on your mind today?
Very well stated, and I'll just emphasize it. People will get up at the meeting and yell, we're not against NIMBYism. We're not belong in that. We just don't want it in my neighborhood.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, have a great day.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate the phone call. And it's easier said than done. I know if right now we have an empty lot across the street from our residence. If someone was to come along and say, okay, we're going to be turning this into geared to income housing, or there's going to be some sort of multi-unit space or a multi-unit building that's going to go into that space, it wouldn't be the easiest thing to accept. But I got to put my money where my mouth is, right? Looking at this, I'll give you some perspective, because one of the people we're going to talk with tomorrow is from an Indigenous community in northern Manitoba. The community is called Puckatawagan, Manitoba, and it is about 800 kilometers northwest of Winnipeg. It's also known as the Matthias Colomb Cree Nation. Along the Puckatawagan Lake. It's on the shorelines there. It had originally been set up partially due to it being close to a Hudson's Bay trading post. My wife and I, when we were newly married back in 1997, jobs were scarce in Southern Ontario. We were hired to teach up in Puckatawagan and made our way up there. We were lucky in the fact that the housing that was offered to us they called them the teacherages, and they were sort of central to the town, but separate from the other homes in the community. 2,000 people live in this community. The average number of people per household, and we're talking maybe as big as a double-wide trailer, number of people per household, 16. Let that sink in. Imagine living in a double-wide trailer with 15 other people. Your kids, your grandkids, your brother, your sister, your extended family. The housing is all prefabricated because of how far north they are. You really can't dig down very far into the earth. The problem is, well, there's tons of problems in a place that is remote. And we were on a boil water advisory when we were there in 1997. Guess what? The boil water advisory still stands right now. Right now, the community had to be evacuated at the end of May because of forest fires. Those residents who were displaced, and this is one of thousands of stories that are exactly the same, those residents of Puckatawagan still have not gone home. Some of them are living in hotels in Niagara Falls. Most of them are in hotels in Winnipeg or with families in other communities. And there's a small group of people back in the community just to keep it safe and keeping an eye on things. The only way to get into and out of Puckatawagan, you can fly in or you can take the train. The problem is the train is 10 miles outside of the community, and right now it's being used specifically to bring things up, all of the materials that need to be put in place to rebuild infrastructure, put in hydro lines, all of those things. So it's going to be a long time before people get back to those houses. But it's their home, despite the fact that they share it with 15 other people. It's still home. They want to get back there. So there's a little bit of perspective. As I said, we were the lucky ones. My wife and I, newly married, we shared our home with 2 other people. That's the reality for other people here in Canada. The summer before we went up there, the chief of the Matthias Colomb Cree Nation had traveled to the World Bank to ask for a loan to build housing in his community. When he returned, the federal government stepped in and said, we don't have third world communities in our country. I beg to differ. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell, toll free, 1-800-570-5715. Let's take a break. Stay with us. You're listening to The Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Welcome back to the show. Brock Greenhalgh sitting in for the vacationing Mike Farwell. What have you got planned for this Friday, Junior? Back in May, Mike had the band Something's Always Flying play at his kickoff for the his Farwell for Hire campaign. And we've had the drummer on a few times. We've had some of the other members of the band on as well, too, just to talk about the local music scene and all of those kinds of things as well, too. So if you don't have anything on for tonight, this is something new for them. Something's Always Flying is going to be playing at Montana's on Ottawa Street. They're setting up outside on the patio. They're going to let loose. You can go and have some ribs. The music runs from 7 until 10 o'clock tonight. And we've got our table booked already. The idea, just go, enjoy. There's no cost other than your meal. And reservations are encouraged. So again, Something's Always Flying tonight, 7 till 10 at Montana's Barbecue and Bar. That's over at 720 Ottawa Street in Kitchener. Come and say hi. I'll be the guy with the rib sauce all over his face. That's going to be happening tonight. Tomorrow, what have you got on? It's not a long weekend, but it's going to be another busy weekend. So many events going on, and we had talked the other day about just sort of slowing down these days and making the most of each day. And sipping it, right? Sip it slow and the world stays sweet. That's the idea. What have you got planned for the weekend? We've got a lot of other things that are going to be happening here on the show. I'm back with you tomorrow. 10:30 this morning, we are going to be talking with Sherry Greeno about Waterloo Regional Police Service. Still needs your help to get out and get some backpacks put together. 11 o'clock this morning, we will have a chance to talk with an assistant professor at the Fire Research Lab at UW. He's talking about the idea that wildfires keep changing, so the response has to change as well, too. And they're all over that, trying to figure those things out. 11:30 today, this is the Flipside. Your chance to take over the airwaves and tell us the answer to this. Tell us a time when you won a championship. You won a prize. You won something. You know, the spelling bee. You're the spelling bee champion. Whatever it happens to be, that's your chance at 11:30. You get to boast about yourself. All right? We are at the bottom of the hour. We will get an update from the News Center. Stay with us. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Brock Greenhalgh sitting in for the vacationing Mike Farwell. Who was the person who wrote the lyrics to the Backpack song? They had a tough job. Waterloo Regional Police Service, once again, reaching out to the community to help out with their 8th annual Backpack Challenge. Over 22,000 backpacks have already been donated over the last 7 years, along with thousands of dollars in gift cards and school supplies as well, too. Donations are directed to families in need and more than 25 child and youth organizations around the region. Sherry Greeno joins us this morning to give us an update. Welcome to the show, Sherry.
Hi, Brock. Thanks so much for having me. I really love the song intro you have there. I was singing along with it.
That's in my head. My kids are 20 and 24, but that was always on in the background way back in the day.
Yes.
So back to school time, less than 3 weeks away. Sherry, how excited were you to start a new year with a new backpack?
I'm very excited. I think our whole team here gets excited about this. And really, we talk about it all year round, even though it's just the last couple of months in the summer. It's something that we plan for year round. We're just really excited. We're busy today, packing, getting everything ready to go for our first handout on Saturday.
So you've extended the collection a little bit. Where you're still looking for donations. If people want to get involved, what can they be doing?
We are still taking donations. We're starting distributing them on Saturday and throughout next week, but we will be taking donations right up until the end of August, because we do have a significant wait list of people that are still hoping to get one. Right now we have probably around 3,900 bags that we've collected.
Okay.
And there's a lot coming in still today and tomorrow that I would say we're probably very confidentially hopeful that we will reach our goal of 5,000 by the end of next week.
That's awesome. Do some corporate sponsors or businesses lend a hand sometimes?
They sure do. I mean, we get really large donations. We get some, people come in with 4 or 5 backpacks. We just had, some companies drop off, a couple hundred at one time. So all of that, it really adds up. And it really makes a huge difference. I think any of us as parents, we know that when we're getting the kids outfitted and ready to go back to school, it can be quite a financial burden. So this is just really something that we can do here in partnership with the community, just to remove some of that financial anxiety and let families really just focus on supporting their child's learning for the school year.
If any of our listeners might find themselves in need of a new backpack for their children, what do they need to do?
Right, so they can contact us here. They can email us or, call us here. And right now we're putting people on a wait list and hoping that we get extra backpacks. We have about 5,200 people that are registered so far.
Okay.
And then again, we have that wait list. So we're hoping that by the end of this week and next week, we'll have between 5,000 and 5,500 backpacks that we can meet the need of everyone in the community. That
5,200 number, has that just increased over the years?
It increases every year, and I think, people, in the world that we're living in now, some people who may years ago have not had a problem, maybe, purchasing backpacks and school supplies, in today's world they're finding it, a little bit tougher, and I think we can all relate to that. So the numbers do increase drastically year over year, and I think the more that people find out about the program, it's been running, this is the 8th year now, and, we do get more people requesting backpacks, but we also get more people donating. So
Great.
we seem to find a way to make it work every year, which is, we would not be able to do that without the community.
So you get yourself a backpack, you open it up. What are some of the things we might find inside?
Yeah, so it depends on the grade, the age of the child, but in each backpack there will be supplies. So it could be, compasses, paper, pencils, pens, markers, crayons, you name it. People, go out of their way and donate it. And sometimes they go shopping with their own children who and then buy those school supplies for the age of their child, so they know what the need is, and then they come and they give that to us. So the team is very busy today going through all of the school supplies and sorting them into age-appropriate categories, so that when the families come, they just pick up their backpack and it's filled with the supplies that they need.
To hit that 5,000 mark, or maybe even beyond that, do you need some more volunteers to stop in and help out?
Between our members and our members' families, we have volunteers that are going to be distributing them. But I would say the ask would be more for maybe some more donations of backpacks so that we can meet the need of the people that are currently on the wait list. And really, it's about, I mean, we see people coming in. We saw a woman who came in. She celebrated her 70th birthday, and instead of gifts, she had her family and friends bring in backpacks that she donated. And then on the other end of that, we had a 1-year-old little girl, and for her birthday, her mother also asked for backpacks. So they came in, and we got to, play with the little girl and show the kids around our headquarters building and stuff. So it's just so much fun to see and hear from the people who donate as well as the people who receive.
And thank you for doing what you do and spearheading this. I know there's a whole crew there working with you, but thanks for being the voice. And what we'll do on our end, we'll keep the conversation going, and we'll try and drum up some more some more donations for you.
That's really great, Brock. Thank you. And also thanks to you and your team there. I know you guys donated some backpacks, so we are very grateful for you and for the entire community who actually, without them, it wouldn't be such a success. So we're very, very grateful.
We appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, Brock. You as well. Take care.
Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
That was Sherry Greeno talking about continued need for donations to the Waterloo Regional Police Services Backpack Challenge. They are they got about just shy of 4,000. They would like to get it up around 5,000. So if you've been thinking about it, or your company has been thinking about a way to get involved, check it out. Go to the website, and they are already starting to hand some of them out, distribute them to the people in need. And there's a wait list. So the wait list the numbers are around 5,200 total. And as Sherry was saying, that number's just gone up every year, year over year. It just keeps going up. But maybe you want to be a part of that. All right. You want to be a part of the solution. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell, toll free, 1-800-570-5715. Don't go anywhere. We'll take a quick break. Stay with us. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio.
People, go out of their way and donate it. And sometimes they go shopping with their own children and then buy their school supplies for the age of their child, so they know what the need is, and then they come and they give that to us. So the team is very busy today going through all of the school supplies and sorting them into age-appropriate categories, so that when the families come, they just pick up their backpack and it's filled with the supplies that they need.
That was Sherry Greeno giving some information about the backpack collection, the backpack challenge, rather. Waterloo Regional Police Services Backpack Challenge. If you would like to help out, reach out to WRPS. They are shy about 1,000 if they want to hit their goal, 1,200 possibly. And as she was saying, there are items inside that the kids will be using back to school. Sometimes it's a gift card. Sometimes for some of the kids, they would take the gift card, go with their folks, and do some shopping as well too. If you want to get involved, think back to those days. Getting ready, and I know I'm less than 3 weeks out, and I'm involved in the education system, and I just keep talking about back to school, and I'm making frenemies everywhere I go. But that when you were getting ready to go back to school, things that you would spend money on, shoes, your parents would get you shoes, indoor shoes, outdoor shoes. Were you the same as me, that when you put your shoes on, new running shoes, you would run around and know that you were running faster? Or is that just something? What was your go-to? What did you want to have for back to school? And let's talk high school, right? Or maybe middle school. Were there certain things that you just had to have because everybody had them? 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, everybody had to have Champion T-shirts and hoodies. Those have gone by the wayside. Back in my day, you wanted to have yourself an Adidas gym bag, blue and red for sure. You wanted to have canvas Nikes. And then in high school, the big thing at my high school back in 1985, 1986, Ralph Lauren polo button-downs. The only thing is, they were like $150 back then. I couldn't afford that. Anyway, give us a call. It's almost your turn. 11:30, you're going to be telling us what it's all about with any awards that you might have won, any championships that you brought home, spelling bee, perfect attendance, all those things. Maybe you went to camp and you won something at camp. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. Toll free, 1-800-570-5715. At 11 o'clock, we are going to be speaking with Professor Vinny Gupta. He is an assistant professor in the Fire Research, easy for me to say, lab over at the Department of Mechanical and Mechatronics Engineering, University of Waterloo. We're going to talk about Canada experiencing all these wildfires. What does it mean? How do we battle them moving down? And that's going to be at 11 o'clock. 11:30, the Flipside, your chance to tell us when you won a championship. 12 o'clock till 1 o'clock, it's Talkback. This is your chance. We pull out the soapbox. You tell us what you're excited about, what you're mad about, whatever's, the weather's not as bad today as it's been the last couple of days. So maybe that isn't getting you all riled up. Maybe you just want to talk about your weekend. What are your plans for the weekend? I'm going to be checking out something called Back to the Farm. Back to the Farm on Sunday over in Prince Edward County. It's the 10th anniversary of a festival that they have there. Here's the lineup. The Trews, they're going to be the big headliner. And Joel Plaskett, Emergency. The Rural Alberta Advantage. Really excited to go and see a singer by the name of Miss Emily. Miss Emily, we've known her for the last 30 years. Her daughter and our son are good friends, and she can belt it out. She's actually been to the Blues Fest before to perform. So Miss Emily is going to be on stage at 4 o'clock. It is sold out, so don't even think about trying to get tickets. But I'll tell you all about it the next time I see you. That's coming up on Sunday. And any chance that you get to go see live music, take it, right? We know that we've got other things that are coming up here as well, too. The Busker Festival. Busker Festival, to me, was always the signal that summer was just about through. And again, we're not rushing through the summer. We're making the most of everything, right? We want to slow things down. Tonight, you're going to make your way over. It's gig day over at Montana's on Ottawa Street. Go check out Something's Always Flying. Support local music. The nice thing is, Steve, the drummer, we've had, as I said, we've had these conversations before. He talks about these days, it's all about sharing information. How do you get gigs? How do you get in? How do you make these things happen? Whereas 30 years ago, everything was a guarded secret. You didn't want to let people know what was going on. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. Toll free, 1-800-570-5715. We will take a quick break. Stay with us. You're listening to The Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Brock Greenhalgh sitting in for the vacationing Mike Farwell this week. He will be back on Monday. After the 11 o'clock news, we are going to speak with Dr. Vinny Gupta. He is an assistant professor at the Fire Research Lab at the University of Waterloo. And talking about how do we change the way that we deal with wildfires, with forest fires. I'm was looking at something, and it's eerie. I'll put it that way. ESRI Canada, ESRI. So it's climate.esri.ca, Environmental Systems Research Institute. They have an active wildfire map that you can look at, and it's amazing to in a bad way to look at it. This cluster of forest fires right around the border between Saskatchewan and Manitoba, all the way through Manitoba. And I know we've heard on the news about forest fires on the island of on Vancouver Island, in Newfoundland, and the southern coast of the southern tip of Nova Scotia. If you go to the website, climate.esri.ca, and you do a search, it's /pages/wildfire. Active wildfires in Canada. It gives you some perspective. Let's just put it that way. There is other information that you can click on. You can take a look at, based on numbers, really, in and around Manitoba right now, you've got 95, you've got about 150 different wildfires. In southern Ontario, there are 10. But even the scary thing about that is that they're getting closer and closer to urban centers up around Peterborough the last week or so. Those are things that we haven't seen before, or if we have seen them, they've been contained very quickly. Conversations and issues happening out in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, where the government has said, don't go into the woods. Because if you go in there, there's a couple of things. If you go in there and fall down and break your leg, they are not going to come and try and rescue you because you were told not to go into the woods. They are actively fighting wildfires. They are actively sending their resources elsewhere. So you are left to your own devices. There have been people who have gone into the forests just to thumb their noses at the rules that have been put in place. One gentleman said, I want to fight this in court. So for me to do that, I'm going to go in here. I know I'm breaking the law, but I want to fight this in court because it boils down to my rights to go into the woods. Newfoundland, they didn't do the same sort of thing in Newfoundland. They were the Premier of Newfoundland was talking about how so many residents go back and forth through the woods on ATVs getting to work. It's not like it's just a playground. It's more like a highway for a lot of people. So those are the kinds of things. And I mentioned to you before that idea of the community where I had taught. It's a ghost town. I've seen some aerial photographs. Luckily, it didn't make it as far as the airport. That was the concern because once the airport is gone, there's really no way until the winter hits that you can get into and out of a lot of these communities that are up there. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570. Toll free 1-800-570-5715. We will take a quick break. We'll get an update from the news center. When we come back, we are talking forest fires. Stay with us, though. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Brock Greenhalgh with you this week as Mike Farwell is on vacation. He will return on Monday. I'm currently looking at an interactive map of all of the active wildfires in Canada. It's on the Environmental Systems Research Institute's website. This interactive map, you can click on it to show historical fires. You can take a look at all of this other information. And as I said before, there's this massive cluster along the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border, and I know what you're thinking. We don't live there. Well, it's still important for us to know about these things. When you look at all of the other places around the country right now dealing with fires, it is spreading. Canada experiences around 8,000 wildfires each year, but they are changing. They are adapting. Researchers are trying to stay ahead of the curve. Dr. Vinny Gupta is an assistant professor at the Fire Research Lab at the University of Waterloo. He joins us on the show this morning. Thanks for giving us some of your time today.
No worries at all. Good morning, Brock. How are you?
I'm well, and I appreciate your time. You mentioned in a recent article that even though wildfires have been happening for, based on what we can see, 400 million years and beyond that, they're rapidly evolving. How are you and your colleagues trying to stay ahead of them and learn more about how they're evolving?
Yeah, most certainly. And I think it's an important thing to recognize, which is that it's certainly the case that wildfires are certainly different today than years and decades in past. And it's certainly something that's at the forefront of our minds. And I think it's kind of two-pronged. The first is that with climate change, we're observing more droughts and heat waves, and therefore conditions are just inherently drier, which means that the overall severity of wildfires that we're seeing is just greater. But That's not all of the story. And I think the second important part is that we're just fueled by population growth. We're having urban encroachment into forests. And if there are more people in the interface between forests and urban environments, more people are inherently affected. And what we're even seeing is that structures and buildings within these kind of communities are contributing to the overall severity of these wildfire events also.
The materials that are being used to build those structures there, that's really where the crux is, to find out as much as you can.
Well, I think it's two-pronged, right? Which, yeah, absolutely, how we build communities is certainly important in terms of what kind of building materials we use, how we deal with the arrangement of combustible materials that we have on our land, particularly in areas of high risk. But then the second part also is more on the forest side, which revolves around adequate land management, clearing of particularly problematic species and so on. And that's a big part of what we do, which is to try and understand what the inherent flammability and fire dynamics looks like for typical type of forest fuels that you may find in Canada and Ontario specifically.
With the change and with the evolution of the fires itself, on the flip side of that, has technology kept up with ways to battle blazes once they start? I mean, we've got water bombers. We have, we'll go in and we'll do prescribed burns. We'll do all of those things. Are there other things that we need to be doing because things are changing?
Sure, and technology certainly has a significant role to play. What we're finding is that in terms of what firefighters can deal with, they're just being presented a problem that's almost too significant and too large to handle with their resources. And this is where technology offers several opportunities. For instance, if we can detect very early on a problematic wildfire, then perhaps we can better target our resources. So things like detection are critical. Utilizing technologies like unmanned aerial vehicles, artificial intelligence, remote sensing, and so on offer numerous advantages. But I think it's also important to realize, and this may be this may be a bit counterintuitive, is that not all wildfires are necessarily bad things. And in fact, for millions of years, they've been quite useful towards clearing of forests and overgrowth. So we need to try and identify early on which wildfires are problematic and which ones pose threats to given communities.
You talked about that idea of urban encroachment, and I had mentioned in kind of our preamble, you look at Nova Scotia, for example, and New Brunswick, where the provincial governments are asking people right now not to go into the woods. And for a number of reasons, but some of them, and we've heard about fires that have been purposely set, whether that be to someone deciding to do that or not paying attention to what's going on. Are those sort of knee-jerk reactions, or are those the kinds of things we have to actually start considering?
I mean, I can certainly understand where they're coming from, because wildfires, in particular in Nova Scotia and out east, they're not particularly common, right? Or at least not in recent years. So they're not. They may not have the know-how or the level of fireproofing in their communities to really deal with the problem. However, it's important to recognize that wherever we have people and wherever we have people that interact with forests or live within forests, wildfires are invariably going to be started. So I think we have to learn how to live with wildfires, and we need to do what we need to try and get ahead of the problem in terms of being able to mitigate the effects of wildfires, because most certainly they're not going away anytime soon.
The research that you're doing right now at the Fire Research Lab, I know it's cutting edge, and the one article I was reading was that it brought you together with a colleague. How's everything going at the research lab?
Oh, we're certainly keeping busy. I mean, we do a lot of work on wildfires, particularly these days with the need for addressing the housing crisis. We're doing a lot of work with prefabricated construction, with mass timber construction, and so on. So very much connected to the forestry side. And then we're also dealing with new and emerging technologies, things like lithium-ion batteries and other type of sustainable technologies that may carry significant fire risks. It's a very interesting environment. We effectively get to burn things for a living and try and understand what drives the problem, so we can better address it, and we can present different types of stakeholders, varying from policymakers to people developing codes to community managers and so on, with the know-how and tools that they need to try and respond to the problem.
I've just pictured this young Vinny in Australia lighting things on fire, saying, "Mom, Dad, don't worry, this is leading to something big."
Well, look, it's good to do it in a legal framework, and it is towards trying to hopefully improve overall safety in our communities.
Well, and I thank you for what you're doing, and again, it's just a bit of a joke, and it is an extremely serious topic. But thank you for doing. We're going to keep the conversation going on this, and would you be willing to come back on the show again and speak?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Most certainly.
Thank you so much for your time, and all the best with your continued research.
Thank you so much, Brock. You take care.
You too. Thank you. That was Dr. Vinny Gupta. He's an assistant professor at the Fire Research Lab at the University of Waterloo, talking about how do we adapt to wildfires as they continue to adapt. We do need to take a quick break. Stay with us, though. You're listening to The Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio.
Wherever we have people and wherever we have people that interact with forests or live within forests, wildfires are invariably going to be started. So I think we have to learn how to live with wildfires, and we need to try and get ahead of the problem in terms of being able to mitigate the effects of wildfires, because most certainly they're not going away anytime soon.
That was Dr. Vinny Gupta. He is an assistant professor at the Fire Research Lab at the University of Waterloo, talking about how to deal with wildfires that are now being fueled in a lot of ways by structures, human-made structures, and the materials that might be in there. He mentions the idea that not all wildfires are bad. They do serve a purpose. You think about keeping control over certain forests that just aren't managed in any other way. Historically, we talked about the fact that you go back, research can go back over 400 million years, and wildfires have always been around. The problem is now they are encroaching more on residential or urban areas. It could be looked at the other way around, that urban areas are encroaching on those rural or natural areas. But it's important for us to be able to take a look at it. Brock Greenhalgh with you this week, sitting in for Mike Farwell. Here's a little bit of perspective. I was talking a bit about this earlier this morning. So when I first started teaching, my wife and I moved up to northern Manitoba. We lived in this community called Puckatawagan. The residents in Puckatawagan were all evacuated at the end of May because of wildfires. So it's been more than 2 months, and most of them were kept in and around Winnipeg or housed with friends or family. Other groups were brought to Niagara Falls and staying at hotels there. But there was an article that came out about a week and a half ago, I guess now, and it talks about the fact that these residents, they're anxious. They want to go home. They want to try and stay connected. But even families have been broken apart because just the way that logistics work. The forest fire there was this evacuation that happened. Even the evacuation was sort of piecemeal. The problem was that the fire at the time, at the end of May, was getting very, very close to the town's airport. They'd had a similar thing happen in 2022, and at that point, the Canadian forces came in big airplanes, loaded everybody up, took them out. You're trying to move out 1,800, 2,000 people. This time around, they were using helicopters that could only carry 15 people at a time. You can do the math. It would take them quite a while to get everybody out of there. So, you relocate people throughout Manitoba as long as there's hotel vacancies, as I said, some come to Niagara Falls. And at first, I'm sure, maybe for the young kids, it's kind of exciting. It's a little bit different. But as some of the residents have said, they've grown up in these outdoor settings, and now they're in these concrete jungles. They just want to go home. They want it to be over. They want to feel safe. They want to feel connected. And even though you say, well, they're being looked after, the community's been separated. Right. And it's also been challenging for the Puckatawagan leadership to coordinate activities for evacuees. They've got different council members in different sections. The lady I hope to speak to tomorrow, Brenda Dumas, was saying that, in some cities, for example, Niagara Falls, early on, there was a lot of support there. They were getting tickets, I think, to go to a Blue Jays game and to go to Ripley's Believe It or Not, or Ripley's Aquarium, rather. But those things dry out, right? And they don't last. The problem is that what lasts is you staying away from your home. And you've got your kids with you. You might be trying to be able to spend time with your other family, and it's through Facebook, through FaceTime, those kinds of things. The other thing is that you look at what's been told to the people. As of last week, the order to stay out of Puckatawagan is going to be in place, and they're not really going to start planning on bringing people back until the end of August. I think that's being optimistic. Power in the community has to be restored. The wildfires that came through damaged about 100 hydro poles, and the lines came down. So Manitoba Hydro has to go in there. They've got to service all of that before anything else happens. And they're also waiting for that railway line to be able to get back in there. Right now, the railway line is being used to transport supplies and fuel that they need up in Puckatawagan. The thing is, this is one of hundreds of communities dealing with the exact same thing. So when we talk about wildfires, when we talk about what's happening in other parts of the country, sometimes it's easy for us just to say, you know what, I can't deal with that right now. I'm going to block that out because it's not in my backyard. We used that term earlier today, but it's being dealt with. Thousands of people here in Canada are having to do this. Is their summer. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell, toll free 1-800-570-5715. We'll take a quick break. Stay with us. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Welcome back to the show. Brock Greenhalgh sitting in for Mike Farwell this week. Just about time for the Flipside. But before we get to the news center at the bottom of the hour, Jake, what's on your mind today?
How you doing?
Very well. And yourself?
Good. So you're talking about awards.
Yes.
So a couple years ago, I used to be in this band. And we got nominated at the Ontario CMA Awards. I was nominated for Songwriter of the Year. I did not win it, and that's all right, because the Rec Laws ended up winning it, and they're part of Cambridge.
There you go.
But our band did win Reader's Choice Award for Best Band in the Waterloo region, so I was pretty proud of that. And to my grade 11 teacher that said I'd never amount to anything, you can suck on that.
Oh, can you give me the name of your band, and we'll give it a shout-out?
Yeah, Eric Jackson and the Willow River Band.
All right, we'll do that. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
All right, Eric Jackson and the Willow River Band. Eric Jackson, Willow River. Jake was a little bitter there about his grade 11 teacher. Got to be careful what you say. He amounted to something. Teacher, I got a message for you. Anyway, that's what we want to hear. We want to hear about those awards that you might have won or been nominated for, right? Devin doesn't like to talk about it, but he was once nominated for the George Clooney Lookalike Award. Right? Was that? Have you got an award that you want to tell us about? This is your chance, Devin.
I didn't win the George Clooney Lookalike Award.
Okay, that's all right.
I disagreed with that call, but I suppose I am a little biased.
Well. Any other award that legit you won? You've got.
I got to the World Championship qualifiers in Yu-Gi-Oh! At one point in my life. I didn't do astonishingly well at them, but
still, man, that's that you're in a group of what? How many people?
Admittedly, it was like 2,000.
Out of the world, though. Out of the world. I love that. Okay, that's what we want to hear. We want to hear your championship story. This is your chance to boast. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. You can also reach us toll-free, 1-800-570-5715. The idea is the flip side. We're flipping it over to you. You get to tell us all about your championship win. All right? Stay with us. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570. Brock Greenhalgh in for Mike Farwell this week. It's that time. It is time for the flip side. Tell us a time when you won yourself a championship, a prize, a medal, any of the above. This is your chance to boast. George, what's your story today?
Oh, it's a good one, Brock. Back in 1973, I entered a Frisbee competition.
Yes.
Back at that time in the early 70s, Frisbee was a big thing. Everybody was getting into it. So I entered it. For my age group, I was only 9. For my age group, I won. It was a plaque with a little mini Frisbee mounted on it. And to this day, I mean, how many years are we talking? 50 years.
Wow.
I still have. It was a very proud moment for me. I think it really helped me as a young person to encourage me to be more confident in myself.
Yep.
And can you imagine all things, a Frisbee competition?
That's amazing. Now, if you don't mind me, was that in KW somewhere, George? Where was that?
It was in the GTA area.
In the GTA. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
All right. Enjoy the day. A Frisbee champion, George. Grant, what's your story today, bud? Hey, Grant. Grant, are you there? It sounds like maybe, Grant, call me. I don't know. Maybe he fell asleep. I don't know. Grant, I had you on there, but you give us a call back. Kyle, championship Kyle, let's hear all about it.
He's probably in the bathroom, Grant.
Jeepers, Kyle.
Sorry, but he
grabbing a coffee.
Happened. So anyways, okay, so I have to go back to 1995, 96. I won my first soapbox championship. First race went down in Cub Scouts.
Ooh.
And then my dad still is proud of that moment today. And then he's like, you know what, I'm putting this kid in go-kart.
Yep.
And when I did go-karting when I was 9, I won my first race. And I still have the trophy, and I still have my medal, and I still have the article in the newspaper back when I started go-karting before I moved up to race cars all through that time. But yeah, that was my first proudest moment. Was you feel like Ayrton Senna and Michael Schumacher, when you're that age and you're just excited. And I just before I let you go, my friends hated me because every single game that I had on N64,
yes,
90% of it was all racing. Like, can you stop with all these racing games, Kyle? Can we play something else?
No.
Yeah. There you go, my friend.
You can't do it. All right, Kyle. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Soapbox Derby makes his way to go-karts back in the 90s. George in the Frisbee Championship in 1973. We're still waiting to see what Grant had to say. Grant called, and then we could hear something was going on. The television was on. Maybe he was making himself a coffee, going to get a sandwich, something along those lines. A championship that you've won. Maybe it could be that, or you got close, right? Something happened. You were able to come home with a trophy, championship of some sort. And one of the reasons I'm asking this is we've invited our oldest son and his girlfriend to move back home with us. They're going to be in the basement, converting it into a bit of an apartment. That meant I have to clear out a bunch of things. And I started finding all not tons of them, but like my grade 8 science award from 1983, right? And I remember thinking, how did I win this? It was one of the few. Maybe I just stayed awake when I was in his science class. If you're still listening, Mr. Wild, my apologies for the rest of the kids. I behaved myself. Grant, Paul, we'll go with you first. Paul, what say you? What was your award?
Back in 1992, I was pitching for the Burlington Brants in the Central Ontario Baseball League.
Nice.
Yeah, I won Pitcher of the Year that year.
Oh, right on.
And that was the third best thing. In 92 was my best year of my life.
Okay, let's hear it.
So number 3, I won the Pitcher of the Year. Number 2, the Blue Jays won their first World Series.
Yep.
And number 1, I got my dog.
Aww.
And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was the love of my life back then in the 90s.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Now I gotta, and you don't have to answer this one, Paul. But when you got your, have you continued to have dogs after that, or was that the only one?
That was the only one. I couldn't. It broke my heart.
I hear you.
I finally had to put her down.
Yeah, I remember that and thinking I could never go through this again.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, that was the love of my life, and I still got the memory. I got good memories and pictures and everything. So.
Right on. Pitcher of the Year. Hats off to you, Preston. Paul, thanks so much.
Thanks. Have a great one.
Yeah, you too. All right, Grant, you're back on. Grant, give us the lowdown. Your championship. What was it?
Well, I think it was a bench press competition that because I was the only individual in my weight class that could bench over my body weight. My body weight, I think at that time was 160, and I did 180.
Don't mess with Grant.
And also, when I was in school, I joined the wrestling, and I didn't have to wrestle because there was nobody in my weight category.
They just raised your hand up. They're like, Grant's champion again.
All right.
Good job, Grant. Oh, my gosh. Frisbee champs, soapbox, go-karts, pitcher of the year, bench press champion. If you can bench press more than your weight, not happening over here. Let me tell you. These are some great stories. When you won yourself a championship or an award or a medal or whatever, give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. You can also reach us toll-free, 1-800-570-5715. We'll take a quick break in a second, but before that, going back to where did this come from? We're clearing these things out of the basement, and I was just like, I don't know what to do with these things. And my wife, again, the most brilliant woman around, I mean, I married her, right? She married me. That was a smart thing to do. She was like, take a photo of it. She said, have you used this 1983 science medal or needed it in any capacity? And I said, the only thing it does is it generates memories. So she said, take a picture. So that's what I did. And I did that with some of the other things down there as well, too. I did a ship on a stick from going on a Carnival cruise and building up enough courage to get up and sing in a karaoke competition in front of the entire cruise. We want to hear your story, though. 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell, toll free, 1-800-570-5715. We will take a quick break. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. If you haven't called in yet, give us a call. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Welcome back to the show. Brock Greenhalgh sitting in for Mike Farwell this week. We are talking championships or medals or awards or something that you've won. We've had quite an array of champions already. Mary, I know this is going to be a good story.
It's going to be a good story.
Let's hear it. Yeah, we want to hear about the time you won a championship.
I didn't win a championship. I won. I got a gold sovereign for being the highest mark in grade 12.
Whoa.
Waterloo, Oxford.
W-O.
W-O. And it wasn't, it wasn't just a small school.
No.
It wasn't piddly-iddly. But
there was quite a crew of people there.
there were. You know, grade, there could be up to class A, B, C, D.
So with a gold sovereign, what did that mean to you at the time receiving that?
I would say, like, I was a study person.
Okay.
I read the history notes. Like I'm not smart.
Come on now, Mary.
No. Well, I am smart, but the whole thing is I trained my mind.
Well, good.
And they don't train them no more. But I read my notes. I was up studying all the time. So when the question came up, my brain would kick in.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Like I don't want to say I'm smart. I'm not stupid, but what I'm saying is you have to train your memory.
Right.
And that's key. But anyway, I got it set in a decorative little thing, gold. And I never wear it. But I tell my daughter and my granddaughter, like, when I die, don't throw that out.
No, keep that.
And I got there was a plaque in the school that put your name on it. You know.
Right. So the other people that were there as well, too. Yeah. So I guess the question would be, Mary, were you wearing that ring when you kissed the guy in the RCMP?
It wasn't a ring. It was
a sovereign. Oh, but I thought you had. Were you wearing that? Don't deflect from the question, Mary.
No, because I wasn't that old. I was
this is beforehand.
Well, listen, you have a good memory because you keep bringing up that I kissed at RCMP.
Well, I tell you,
it's not high on your list.
Well, I mean, it's something you got to learn about. And the question is, it's not how smart you are, Mary. It's how are you smart? Think of that. Are you numbers smart? Are you music smart? Are you language smart? Are you just a smart aleck like me? How are you smart? Not how smart are you? Championship that you've won. Give us a call. Let us know. This is your chance to boast. 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. Toll free, 1-800-570-5715. If you're not interested in boasting, if you're not interested in sharing that information, in about 15 minutes, we're going to get started for the Talkback Hour. And that's your chance to rant, your rave, all the things that are on your mind. I had a few rants earlier today, and I'm glad I got them out of my system. And thank you for listening to those because they were, they were timely. They were on my mind, and I just wanted to deal with them. And I feel better about it now. What's your story? Let's hear about your championship, your big win. Yeah, the ship on a stick. I took a picture of it 2 days ago, and then I had to let go of it because it just takes up valuable real estate in the basement. It doesn't mean anything to anybody else, but if I come across it in my photos, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the time I stood up and sang "Mac the Knife." Came in third place, and there were only 3 of us competing. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. Toll free, 1-800-570-5715. We're back at this again tomorrow. Mike is back with you on Monday. It's been, touching wood right now, it's been a good week. I haven't had to put anybody in jackwagon jail. You have treated the supply teacher very well. I don't have too many notes that I have to pass on to Mr. Farwell when he comes back in the door because, I don't want to be a snitch or anything like that. But it's just the way that it goes. If you're misbehaving, we got to deal with those things. Still waiting to hear from a few of you. I figured Craig would have called in about his big win last night, or Greg would have given us a shout about something. You put these guys on your golf team, and they become the ringers, and we have to wait and see what they've got to say. All right, Rudy. I think I know what but I don't want to say anything. What's your championship? What's your championship story all about?
It's not going to be about championships. But I did win a medal once for when I was a kid. I was on a rifle team, and it was actually the Kitchener Police Junior Rifle Team.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, and we used to practice underneath. There's a shooting range at the Frederick Street Police Station.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to practice there, and one year we had a shoot at the Concordia farm. The Concordia had a shooting range out by Beta, and we shot against the RCMP men's team.
Oh, and how did that go?
Oh, we beat them badly. It's because younger people, they don't shake like old.
Right, like the old fellas. They got the too many coffees in their system.
Exactly, and you wear a tight jean jacket, and it keeps you all still, and then you shoot really good. Plus, I had a really good German 22 gun.
Oh, nice.
But what I'm getting at when you say about smart, intelligence is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in fruit salad.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Rudy. Great point. And that feeds right into that idea of smart and, how smart are you, or how are you smart? Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell, 1-800-570-5715. We'll take a quick break. Stay with us. You're listening to The Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Brock Greenhalgh with you, filling in for Mike Farwell. He will be back on Monday. We're asking the question about championships, winning yourself a medal, something like that. Jim, what's your story? And let's hear all about it.
I was in the Army playing hockey for 4 Service Battalion. I was a defenseman. I played for them for 3 years. And my slap shot, when I took a slap shot, the goalie would go for a water break and then come back to the net. In my 3rd year, I finally got a goal. It went off my butt.
Ooh.
In front of the net.
Yes.
And what the guys did was they all chipped in and they got me this massive trophy that included the score sheet, all the details, and I'm still proud of that.
That's amazing, Jen. What a great that's just there you go, right off your butt though. I mean, you take it any way you can, but it's like it still counts.
The only goal I got in 3 years.
Thanks for sharing that story with us, Jim.
Take care. Bye.
All right, you too. Yeah, these are some amazing stories, and again, we know that they stick with us, right? the things that are positive, the negative stuff sticks with us as well too. And we just got to be cognizant of that. Mary, have you thought of another one you want to share with us?
Well, yes, and I don't want to hog the line.
No worries.
No, because I've had my say. But I remembered I wasn't great at sports. I was not great at sports. I was short. Basketball wasn't my gig. Couldn't, and nothing like that. But remember when the schools used to have, I don't know what it was, but like 3-legged races.
Oh, yeah, like a field day.
Yeah. So because, and I'm not proud of it, I've got large hands. And I hate them.
Mary.
But guess what?
What?
Remember the one where you used to line up and then they had peanuts like in the shell down at and whoever got the most peanuts in their hands won the race. And that was the only accomplishment in field day that I ever had.
Well, Mary, I love that. You gotta play to your strengths, Mary. Little known fact, and he's willing to share it. Matt in the newsroom, Mr. Hutchison, says back in 84, 85, Kitchener minor hockey, House League champs. So even in-house, we got some champions. We got Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a top 2,000 Yu-Gi-Oh! Player in the world. Mr. Wild's 1983 Science Fair Award winner from King George VI Public School in Chatham, Ontario. I don't win nothing, man. What's your story? We got time for maybe I can get you on. We got about 30 seconds. Anybody calls in right now, you can tell us about your championship. Otherwise, I'll still let you tell it afterwards if you call in for a talkback. All right, not to worry. So we're gonna wrap things up. We'll take a break for the newsroom in about 30 seconds or so. But don't forget, afterwards, an entire hour of talkback. Whatever's on your mind, something's upsetting you. Maybe you had tickets on Air Canada and now they've been canceled, or maybe you're worried about traveling somewhere. All of these things that are going on that are out of your control, that's the problem. That's the thing that bothers us the most, I think, sometimes, is the fact that we don't have control over them. You're going to make that trip over to Montana's tonight and got some plans for the weekend. We want to hear all about those things that are happening in your life, and you're willing to share them. Again, if it's something that's just, making your blood boil today, we're okay. Devin and I, we got broad shoulders. We can take it. We're happy to be here. We're here for you. All right? Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your soul, right on your soul, on your cell phone. Toll free, 1-800-570-5715. Stay with us. We'll get an update from the news center. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570.
Take out the papers and the trash, or you don't get no spending cash. If you don't scrub that kitchen floor, you ain't gonna rock and roll no more. Yakety yak.
Don't talk back.
Just finish cleaning up your room. Let's see that dust fly with that broom. Get all that garbage outside, or you don't go out Friday night.
Don't talk back.
That's right. It is Talkback. It's time for you to air your grievances, spread some sunshine, whatever you think would be most appropriate. Grant, what have you got for us today? What's on your mind today, Grant?
It's a joke with these Air Canada stewardess.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I would think that is included with their pay. My goodness. Give your head a shake.
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean, they get paid, as the lady called yesterday, block on and block off. So the blocks go on the wheels. In between that's when you get paid. So they're standing there the whole time that people are getting on the plane, dealing with things.
I highly doubt that. They get a pay, that's included. So they better make sure that when they get a pillow for the customer, that's in their pay too. So I disagree with the guy who was saying they want to make it sound worse than what it is. Fire them all. Fire them all. Fire them all.
Grant is on a rant. Fire them all, he says. Get rid of them all, but they're in a union, right? Be careful what you wish for. Hire some other people and then they'll be like, wait a second, these people they weren't lying. You mean I don't get paid for when I'm helping people get on board the plane? No, you get paid for when we start rolling. Oh, so what am I supposed? I'm still supposed to be nice and greet them and then help them off the plane afterwards, and I don't get paid for doing that work? No, that's just, it's on you. That's your volunteer. That's your volunteer hours. You're going to come to work. You're going to work 8 hours. We'll pay you 6. Anyway, Dave, what's on your mind today?
Just a funny, quick story about earlier, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. You were talking about yelling at a professional game.
Yes.
Well, I won't tell you the year, but I'll tell you where the circumstances where it was, and that'll give you an idea how long ago it was. I was at a professional baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the stands very close to the third base ump.
Yes.
And it was so quiet during the game, I stood up, and on an obvious third base play,
mm-hmm.
the ump called it out or whatever the circumstances were. It was so obvious. and I yelled at the top of my lungs, "Hey, ump, you got that one right." And he smiled because it was so quiet. He smiled, and everybody around in my section started to laugh, and I had a great day.
There you go. See, that you made the guy's day when you yelled at him.
Right.
All right.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I think about that. Like, here I am. You know, Devin's at his desk. I'm at my desk. If people just walked in here and started yelling at us, like, "You guys are awful," blah, 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 you know, I'd be like, what are you doing? Well, you're professionals, aren't you? You should be able to handle it. We're just here to watch what's going on. We're just going to yell at you. I mean, there's a place for it, obviously, chirping and all that jazz. But when it gets to be personal, when it gets to be above and beyond, you know you've crossed the line, right? Give me a break. No, I can do that because he makes millions of dollars. Well, he's still a human being, and lucky for him, he makes $1 million and you don't, and maybe you're just jealous. Kyle, what's on your mind today?
I bet you Grant has never gone on an airplane.
Well, I don't know if he just doesn't. He doesn't believe me.
The guy doesn't sound like he's even like this guy. I don't know. I mean, he's a good caller and stuff, but man, sometimes I just wish that he would just not even say a word.
Kyle.
No, come on. Like, I'm serious.
That's my bread and butter right there. You can't. Don't be shutting them down. No, then no one's going to call into the call-in.
Well, I mean, seriously, these poor flight attendants are out there getting paid. What is it? $30,000 a year, $35,000 a year, right?
Yep.
Chalked on, chalked off. You know, I understand. And look at Canada. If you look at the world, how many, like even in the aviation industry, look at the pay compared to the rest of the world. We're one of the lowest paid people in aviation compared to, let's say, the United States and other places around the world.
And it's all, and you know what's what? I mean, they're saying right now Air Canada is slowly, they're like, yeah, we're going to slowly cancel these flights. But now they're asking for binding arbitration. So here we are. And at the last second, be like, yeah, we came up with a deal. We've made it. We've only, there's a few flights that were canceled, but we're at we've come to an agreement of some sort.
You should look at it and see how much that CEO of Air Canada is getting paid per year. I bet you it's not the same as what those poor flight attendants are working.
Maybe $50,000. Do you think? Maybe 60.
I don't know, a couple of extra zeros to that there, buddy. But no, I just want to say, when you hear people like this call in and they say fire them all and stuff,
yeah, then
maybe we should just ban people like Grant just from flying or even just going on a travel thing if they have no respect for the people that work in the industry.
Wow.
I mean, that's just my opinion on it. I mean, I would have, if I was a flight attendant and some person said I'd fire them all, I would just shut the door on the airplane and say, you know what, buddy, go find another airline to fly with.
Kyle, you've had enough.
That's how I am, old school, buddy.
You guys are both ranting. This is going to be, a couple of years ago, we were going to have a wrestling match out in the parking lot here. You know what? I told a joke one time, and I was on a Zoom meeting. Nobody laughed. Turns out I'm not even remotely funny. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I know we've got people on hold. Don't go anywhere. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell, toll free, 1-800-570-5715. Stay with us. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Brock Greenhalgh's with you this week. Mike Farwell will be back on Monday. It is Talkback. It's your chance. Let us know what's on your mind. Jake, the microphone is yours. What's on your mind today, Jake?
I forgot to mention that teacher was my music and art teacher.
Oh, you're still at it. Oh, my gosh.
I'm still heated.
Now,
I'll never forget.
Okay, here's the thing. Have you been in contact with them since they had said that to you in grade 11?
No, unfortunately. It was a big school, like Turner Fenton Secondary School. So there was like a few thousand kids and, I don't know, a few hundred teachers. So honestly, I couldn't even remember her name, to be completely honest with you.
And she's renting all that space in your head, man. You should invite her to your next show. Just send her tickets and say, you know what? And she will come up and she'll be in tears and she'll be like, you know what, Jake? I should never have said that to you.
You know what? No, it's even funnier is I actually became a music teacher myself at the Ontario Academy of Music, one of the most prestigious music schools in the country.
She motivated you in one way or the other. This is
I had to have, and I never even played music at the time. I still got a 70% in her class. I don't know, like, what do you mean I'm not going to amount to anything? I still got 70. I got a B. That's okay.
Yeah. No, she knew there was more to Jake than that. That's the thing. She's like, this guy needs me to light a fire under his butt and get him going.
So I have another really quick championship story for you.
You got it. You got time.
In 07, 08, so I was about 13 years old.
Yeah.
And we were in the playoffs, and we were playing Brantford, and we had a 3-game kind of do or die.
Yeah.
And I get really sick, and I mean, coming out of every which way.
Yeah.
So I'm one of our team's top scorers. I get really sick. Instead of taking the time off, I ended up playing throughout the entire round robin. It was a 1 week, 3 games in a week. And we ended up winning the championship that year. And every year the BYHA, which is the Brampton Youth Hockey Association, does an award show every year.
Yep.
So I got a letter in the mail, and it was an invitation for me and my family to go and to this fall thing in Toronto.
Yep.
And I won the King Clancy Award for leadership.
Right on.
I was a hockey player, but awards, when you're 13, okay, well, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But my dad said that's the leadership award for the entire Brampton Hockey Association, which was one of next to the GTHL for biggest hockey organization. So
well done.
My dad still brings that up today. He still talks about it. He's like, you remember when you won that award when you were really sick? I was like, yeah, I went and spent 3 days in the hospital after that tournament.
Oh, that's a great story, Jake, and thanks for sharing it. All right, here and all right, you take care. You know, your dad is the only guy you're ever going to come across who's going to be happy that you are doing better than he did. That's coming from a dad. Think about that. Andre, we got a couple of minutes before I got to take a break. What's on your mind today?
Thank you. Very well said.
Thank you.
Rocky.
Jeepers. Stop it. I heard you last night out on the golf course.
I was wondering, maybe next year I can join since you did it with your eyes covered. Maybe I can join.
You
95%.
You can't. You would do. I tell you, the one hole. I was just like, Craig was there and Greg and Scott, and I put the blindfold on, and you kind of like, okay, turn yourself, do this a little bit, and
the anxiety kicks in.
Yeah. Oh, it does, because you lose that one sense, and you're like.
Yeah. But I'm calling. Yes, I'm very happy, and that's a good idea for hopefully next year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling because you know what? I've been sad just thinking about the segment you had about what did you win or rewarded for and all that. And after a house fire, it just takes everything away. And I'm very happy that you said that things are valuable. You should take pictures.
Yes.
Well, since after that, that's what we do now with all this memories is we take pictures because then, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one. And two, I remember saying on your show that it's not about us no more. It's about what we give. And that's what I'm learning with my injury. And I have a son, I told you, he's 10. His name's Winter. And now he is getting all these ribbons from school, from tracks.
There you go. And there's the proud dad coming through.
Exactly. And now soccer, after 3 years now, he's making it to the finals with, thank you very much for KW Soccer. They're in the finals. Barons, the other team doesn't matter because my boy's going to play in the big league.
All right, Andre. Thanks for that, and thanks for the little musical interlude. Craig, we got time. I can get you on quick. What's on your mind, Craig?
Hey there, Brock. I just want to thank you for last night. It was a great time.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun out there, and I we got together, and I was saying to someone, I said, we don't know each other. We met each other at the driving range on Saturday, and here we are. We had a barrel full of laughs.
Yeah, it was a great time, and hopefully we can do it again next year.
Looking forward to it.
And one other comment, you were talking about the foul balls there earlier.
Yes.
I wish people at the Ranger games would pay attention. Get off their phones and stop talking so much, because over the years I've seen so many people get hit in the head with pucks.
Yeah, you're there at the game, man. Like, you just be in the moment. You put the phone away for 2 hours. You paid to be there.
Yeah. After an intermission like I do. So.
Yeah, there's time for a break like that.
Exactly.
All right, well, you have a great day, and we'll talk again soon, Craig.
Okay.
Take care. Craig was one of the fearsome foursome out on the golf course last night. Give us a call, 519-570-2545, star 570, toll-free 1-800-570-5715. We will take a quick break. Stay with us, though. You're listening to The Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Brock Greenhalgh in for Mike Farwell this week. He will be back on Monday. It is the Talkback Hour. We still have more than half an hour to go. Paul from Kitchener, what is on your mind today, Paul?
Good afternoon, Brock.
Good afternoon.
I wanted to get on 11:30, but had to do a work conference call. So just FYI, I won the non-boater champion division at the provincial qualifier up in North Bay back in July. I got the trophy, beautiful cup. It's awesome. It was a great experience to win the non-boater championship, first place out of 40 other non-boaters.
No, so tell me about that.
All the bass clubs from around Ontario, and I'm a member of kwcbass.com, local bass club.
Yep.
You pay your entry fee to go fish. You get paired up with someone that's not in your club, so
okay.
As a non-boater.
Yep.
I got Jay Hotsack from York, and I got Charles Sim from Ottawa for just 2 days. They got me on big enough smallmouth bass that I took first place overall for all of the non-boaters in Ontario that were there.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, and there's one other thing I got to say on Free Phones Friday, and that is, well, it's Talkback.
That's no problem. We'll take it on a Thursday.
Is that there's only 1 week left for people to sign up for the inaugural Basstoberfest.
That's right.
2025.
Yep, Basstoberfest. And you can check that out on Facebook. And I've reposted it a few times, and hopefully we get some more folks to sign up.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome day. And if anybody has any questions, just go to the link, Facebook, ask me a question. I'll answer your questions. It's going to be an exciting, awesome day, and we're really looking forward to having more people come out.
Perfect. Thanks so much. We'll keep pumping that up on this end too, Paul.
I appreciate it, Brock. Take care, buddy.
You too. Take care. Terry, I got 45 seconds for you, Terry.
Okay. I wasn't sure you were going to take my call.
Always, man. Always take your calls.
Last time you wouldn't, so I don't know.
What? Why wouldn't I take your call?
I was on the hold, and you never took my call, so I don't know. Maybe you were pissed off. Who knows?
Never.
Anyway.
Never with you.
Okay. I found out the hard way yesterday when I was at the grocery store, and I couldn't get my tangy dill relish from Bick. So I asked at the aisle, and he said, "Yeah, we're slowly phasing those out."
Oh man!
So I have to settle for the sweet relish, which I don't like. But anyway, I know yesterday when you had Ian Hunter on there, you were talking about the hot streak that the Milwaukee Brewers are on.
Yes.
Yes, I usually listen to Sirius XM, the Mad Dog Sports. Those guys, most of those hosts, they're all New York guys.
Yeah, yeah.
And they love their Yankees, of course.
For sure.
And so Steve Torre is one of the hosts.
Yep.
And he's big diehard Yankee fan. So he looked it up because this was 2 days ago, so before Ian was on yesterday. And in the last 25 years, there have been 9 other teams that have had better streaks in the 65-game stretch. The Brewers went 49-16. So there's 9 teams over the last 25 years that have had better streaks than that, like more wins in 65 games.
Wow.
You know how many of those 9 actually went on to win the World Series?
How many? I'm going to say 7 of the 9.
0 out of the 9.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so the Milwaukee Brewers, great that they're having a great season, but the chances of them winning anything this year is not very high.
All right.
And quickly, I know you told me 10 seconds.
No worries.
I was in a bowling league in 91, 92 at the Frederick Bowl there in Kitchener.
Yep.
And I won an award for bowling the lowest game of the year, and I got a plaque with the horse's ass on it. So that's my claim to fame.
Oh, sorry, Terry. I did click, but we got to go. Sorry, man. Give me a call back. That's awesome. Man, oh, man. Terry gets in there and we get talking. Anyway, we will take an update. We'll get an update from the news center. Stay with us. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570. Brock Greenhalgh in for Mike Farwell this week. He will be back on Monday. Greg Greg, it's your chance at the microphone. What's on your mind today?
Well, let's start with last night's fun.
Let's hear about it.
It was.
Oh, yeah, for sure it was.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Like everything was good. The only thing I'm thinking is maybe here, if we get to the point where, okay, we're not going to win this thing, I wouldn't have minded that switch to last face prize. How about we start seeing them blow it even worse than we did last night?
Wow, we're just gonna blow up so we can get a free chicken dinner.
Well, I do. You've heard my story already. There's not much I don't do to get it, so good idea. But no, good time had by all. Yeah, it's definitely different and good and good people. And okay, next thing, it's not an official record, or it's not I didn't get a medal or nothing like this, but anything I did get in the past was team sports, or team one slow pitch or team one hockey and every lever. So not a whole lot of individual things, but there might be an unofficial one. Remember in Westmount Place for a couple of years there was Mussolini's?
Yes.
Well, they used to have all-you-can-eat mussels on Mondays.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if there could have been a medal or not, but maybe there's like a abstract medal out there. But if anybody beat 194 in one sitting, they win. If not, I got it.
Greg. Oh, my gosh. We start off talking about chicken dinners and we wrap up with eating in 200 mussels. Yeah, Greg, I'm going to give you a medal just for that. Yutza, what's on your mind today?
Oh, hi, guys. I was just calling. I usually email.
Yep.
But today I agree with Kyle. There's been some remarks from people that are personally upsetting. And I just wanted to let people know to be nice.
Yeah, be nice. If you can be one thing in the world, you should be kind, right?
Right.
I appreciate that, Yuta. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Take care. Mark, what's on your mind today, Mark?
Calling about things you've won.
Yes.
Brock. Okay, I was in a golf tournament quite a few years ago, and there was a par 3, and there was a prize closer to the pin.
Yes.
And it was about 170 yards, Brock, and I landed my ball 3 feet from the pin.
Wow.
And I actually won.
Good for you.
Prize.
And what was the prize? You don't mind me asking, what was the prize?
There was no money, but it was 2 bottles of Scotch whiskey.
Ooh, lovely. That's a lovely gift.
It was very nice. And now here's the kicker, Brock. I missed the putt.
Oh, no, you didn't. They should have just let you pick that up.
But it didn't matter. I got close to the pin, but yeah, I missed the putt.
Oh, Mark. Well, that's all's well that ends well, and you got 2 bottles of Scotch, so you're all set.
Okay, thanks, Brock.
Take care. Yeah, your chance. You can still tell us about those championships that you've won, or medals, or you've been nominated for something. If something happened, you're coming your way. I don't want to brag. Well, yeah, I guess I do. I once won. Devin's going to shake his head at this one. I once won the Mr. Nice Guy Award. It was 1990. I was working in Penetanguishene, Ontario for the summer at the historic naval and military establishments. Got to wear, I talked about this the other day, got to wear wool costume out in the middle of the summer. And every year there was an award. We had a banquet at the end of it. And this, again, 1990, the female staff would vote on which of the male staff was the nicest guy. And I upset a lot of the other guys on staff that night when it was announced that I was the Mr. Nice Guy Award winner. I know you might find that hard to believe, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. What's your story? Give us a shout. Let us know what's happening. 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cellular device. You can also reach us toll-free 1-800-570-5715, and let us know what's happening. You still got a chance to call in. You can rant. You can rave. You can, if you've got something on your mind and you want to clear it up, right? What do you think about the big news lately and all the yik yak going on around here? When you're on the sidewalks in and around KW or close, you're going out for a walk, people on electric scooters. or electric bikes. Are they driving you crazy? Do you have to hop out of the way? Are they coming to get you? Those e-bikes, and they can get going pretty fast. Those electric scooters. I was watching adults on these electric scooters. They are braver than I am. You're out standing on a little souped-up skateboard. You do have, you have control of where you're going. And I'm sure it takes some practice and you're able to make those things happen. But no, thank you. I will be happy to be in the confines of my vehicle or on my bike, right? A little more stable on my bike. I don't need any sort of motor on the bike. I'm happy to be on it. And as I told you before, there will be times here in the region that I will be on the sidewalk because of the fact that that little white line is not going to save my life as I travel along Ira Needles Raceway. Give us a shout. 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. Toll free 1-800-570-5715. We will take another break. We'll come back. We'll take some more of your phone calls. We want to hear what it is that's going on in your mind today on this Friday Junior. And then you can even let us know what the plan is for the weekend. All right? Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Welcome back to the show. Brock Greenhalgh in for Mike Farwell this week. It's Talkback. It's your chance to rant, to rave. Let us know what's on your mind. Kevin, what's on your mind today?
Hey, good afternoon. First-time caller here.
Thanks, Kevin. We appreciate it.
You had mentioned about scooters and e-bikes.
Yes.
I've noticed the past few years, quite disturbingly, the amount of scooters that are around and people not wearing safety equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I just drove through Hespeler, and there was 3 young kids, probably from 5 to 8 years old, I'm presuming with their father, all 4 of them on little scooters. Nobody had safety equipment, no helmets.
Not a good idea.
And I'm seeing a lot of it. Now, it's been 25 years since my kids were young, and but I remember a big surge of safety and awareness and that sort of thing. I don't hear that anymore, but really I'm not exposed to it. But I just like to see more people with the safety stuff on. It really is important.
You hit the nail on the head right there, Kevin. And the idea is these things can get going really quickly, and there's nothing stopping you from coming off that thing. And it could be, accidents. We know they happen, and it could be something either jumps out at you, or you hit the curb, or whatever it happens to be. Protect yourself if you're going to be on those things. Great idea, and thanks for calling in. We appreciate it.
Exactly. All right. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, that was the thing that's been, and sometimes these things are just whipping along. I'm a little worried for their safety, right? As I get older, right? Not that I didn't care when I was younger, but when I was younger, I was like, well, you do you. Still kind of my thought in some ways, but it's also that idea of, just if you can be sensible about it, if you're using it for transportation to get from one place to another, get yourself a helmet, right? If you've got the wheels, be smart about it, because you're not going to be able to stop yourself from that sort of impact on your own, right? You're not going to be able to brace yourself. And Dad, if you're out there with your kids, set a good example. Get a helmet on your head, right? Get a bucket on your kids as well too. Mary, what's on your mind this afternoon?
Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. This is my 3rd time.
What? You got nothing else going on today?
I have. I'm on the move all the time. I'm on my bike. I'm cooking. I'm cleaning. Come on.
This is just extremely important for you.
Moving. No, but I have something to say.
Well, then you go right ahead.
And when I married my present husband in 2007, he liked golf.
Yes.
And I had never golfed in my whole life, and I took lessons and blah blah. But I didn't get it. I wasn't no good at it. It just wasn't going for me. So then a friend of his said, "Oh, I've got tickets to the Gray Silo for a charity thing. I think the tickets were $250. Anyway, I can't go. Will you go?" And I said, "Well, are there women going?" Oh, he said yes. So anyway, I get there. There's no women. Not one woman. And so I was not good off the tee, but I was a fairly good putter. So I finished for the putting, the group I was in.
Yeah.
2 guys and my husband and I. Anyway, and there was no other woman, and I thought, my God. But guess what, Brock?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm.
No, but guess what?
You won.
So, no other woman there.
Yeah.
Guess what?
They had prizes for women.
A prize for nearest to the pin. I was
Jeepers,
the only woman.
There you go. You got it. Smart for you to show up.
And then there was another one, whatever. Well, I got 2 beautiful golf bags. And I didn't hardly do a shot.
Well, that's okay, though. Sometimes, half of life is just showing up, Mary. That's the thing. You show up and you can win some prizes. Gosh. Just, yeah. And you think, oh, I'm not good at this. I shouldn't, don't be your own worst enemy. Greg, what's on your mind?
Okay, I just had one more topic last time, so enough of the funny stuff. Regarding this Air Canada stuff.
Yes.
I guess, first of all, it sounds like it's a pathetic clause or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But my thoughts are that, did these employees not, say, agree to being hired knowing that was the case and said, sure, I'll take the job anyways?
Right. That's the question, right? You knew that going in.
That's what I was wondering. Or did they somehow spring it on them or whatever? And then if you think about it, a taxi driver, while he's waiting for the next call, there's probably nothing, and nobody really worries about that. But then, it's almost like being on commission.
Yeah.
It's like, when you're doing something commission. But again, just if they could be clear up front and signed to it, then, unless they're saying, enough of this, let's change it. But then, if you took the job in the first place, you were basically saying, like, I'm okay with this. As stupid as it sounds, I'm still going to take the job.
Yeah, no, but it's a good point, right? If you knew that going in, you really can't complain about it afterwards. But
that's the thing; it's like at both ends.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if expectations on flight attendants have increased or not over the years, but or the waiting like that. Those are the things that kind of get in the way. But I don't know. It seems ridiculous to me that would even be a thing.
Right. It seems ridiculous that somebody put this into a job description or formatted it that way.
Yeah.
But given that they did, and given that people are working, that's just like saying, they're the president of a company. Oh, by the way, here's a clause. You're also going to clean the toilets daily. Well, okay.
Okay. All right.
If he knows that, then okay.
That's the way it is.
They say, well, here, we just lost a janitor, so then he could, argue. But so anyway, so there's sort of both sides of it. But overall, it just sounds like a dumb thing to have even had to have tabled.
Yeah.
That's it.
I appreciate it, Greg. Thanks for calling in again. Greg was one of the 4 horsemen out on the golf course yesterday. We had a blast and a half. Give us a call. We still got some time to take a few more phone calls, and we want to hear what's on your mind. 519-570-2545, star 570 on your cell. Toll free 1-800-570-5715. We will take one more final break before the end of this round of the Farwell Show. Stay with us, though. You're listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570 News Radio. Welcome back to the show. Brock Greenhalgh in for Mike Farwell this week. It's Talkback. Tom, what do you want to talk about today?
Hello?
Hello, Tom. What's on your mind today?
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm well.
My main concern is about the fires, and the federal government is doing nothing about it. They just offer them $40 million, which is a drop in the bucket. The whole country is burning, and it's killing our food and everything else. And next year is going to be probably even worse. And we give $6 billion to the Ukrainians, which are ripping us off. Even Europe is holding the money back because they're corrupt.
Well,
but we have to take care here. Whether you believe in climate change or you don't, it doesn't matter anymore. You see what's happening out there.
Absolutely.
All over Europe.
Yep.
And
you can see it on the maps.
It's terrible because, I mean, it's damaging the land where we grow the food.
Yep, you're absolutely right, Tom, and thanks for calling it. Maybe we can do both, though. I wouldn't be calling the Ukrainians crooked or whatever the term was you used there. I mean, they've been dealing with a war they never asked for going on 3-4 years now. Maybe we can do both. Can we help out our neighbors right beside us? Can we help out our neighbors in another part of the world? But thanks for the call, Tom. Appreciate it. Tomorrow we will have, we're going to have all kinds of fun again tomorrow. You're going to have a chance to talk back again the last hour of the day tomorrow. We will also have the Friday 4 panel will be on tomorrow. It is a mystery to me right now. That's okay. Mystery can be good as to who I'm going to be talking with. Maybe they're going to be in the studio. That would be cool. Have some people right here making that eye contact and being able to do it up that way. We're also going to be just kind of looking at everything else that's happening in and around the region for this weekend, and as we get our way deeper into August, all of the stuff that's still happening and all the great stuff that's coming up in front of us as well too. It's going to be my last day for a while. Mike is back on Monday. I am on the weekends with Ask the Experts. That happens on a Saturday, so you can still listen to me if you want to do that. And other than that, it might be over the holidays, over the winter holidays. I might be back in again, and happy to do it. I've really, really enjoyed my time here, and it's just connecting with people and making people know what's going on. Really enjoy that. So let's put a wrap on this Thursday edition of the Mike Farwell Show. Go out, make the most of the day ahead, and as Mike would say, be kind, everyone. Have a great day. You've been listening to the Mike Farwell Show on 570